This is Mike. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Just want to drop this little video, observe and report. I heard from a podcast called Alcoholics Alive, May 12th, 2026. They're reporting that the General Service Office in New York, which represents the Fellowship of AA, has decided to change a word in the 5th edition Big Book. Also, they apparently, allegedly, bought the Everything AA app, which is kind of curious because they already have an app called a Meeting Guide app. So, just wanted to report that General Service Office in New York had one job: protect the integrity of the AA message, and that has been breached. Now, if they can replace one word in the Big Book, they're going to publish here soon in the 5th edition, they can change other words. So the complete message of AA has been corrupted and the integrity has been lost. Here's the service structure for AA. AA groups are at the top. Group GSRs, General Service Representative, District Committee, Area Assembly, delegates to the General Service Conference, General Service Board, AA World Services Board, and the AA Grapevine Board. This is how it's broken down as the service structure. The group conscience of the Fellowship of AA is the top dog. It's supposed to be, and it's voted on, and it represents the whole Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. Here's tradition 2. For our group purpose, there's but one ultimate authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. Here's concept of service 1. Final responsibility and ultimate authority for AA World Services always reside in the collective conscience of our whole fellowship. "12 Concepts, World Services Illustrated. AA has been called the upside-down organization because the ultimate responsibility and final authority for World Services resides within the groups rather than the trustees of the General Service Board or the General Service Office in New York."
You're listening to Alcoholics Alive, where recovered members of Alcoholics Anonymous share their experience on how they live AA as a way of life. None of our participants get paid or speak for AA. Here are your hosts, Shank and Wayne. The 5th edition of the book Alcoholics Anonymous be approved with minor editorial changes. All right. So this became an advisory action. And the word, this is the minor editorial change. The word Eskimo be removed from Chapter 7, working with others, and replaced with a neutral, non-racial term. So that's what the advisory action says. So I don't know if you've got more notes on that one, Shank, but keep in mind, so we always claim that we're not going to rewrite the first 164 pages of the book. We're not going to change the first 164 pages of the book, Alcoholics Anonymous. And changing that term was not on any of the pre-conference material. Okay? It was not in there anywhere, not on any of the PAIs. So somebody in the committee, the literature committee, the Literature Conference Committee brought this up.
So
And
the notes that I have
okay,
kind of say that people really like a lot of the personal stories that are in there. And without being able to like see and read a confidential draft, people were just kind of like, well, we trust our trusted servants, but confidential draft. All right. The committee recommended the 5th edition of the book Alcoholics Anonymous be approved. Substantial unanimity. The committee recommended that the word Eskimo be removed from Chapter 7, Working with Others, and replaced with a neutral, non-racial term. Achieved substantial unanimity. An amendment to make it a footnote asterisk instead of removing it did not achieve substantial unanimity. So we have many asterisks in our book already. We already have precedents for that.
So that would imply that someone was not in agreement with changing the term.
Correct. Then a related floor action extended the pejorative language removal to the Tradition 8 essay and the 12 by 12. That achieved substantial unanimity. And another floor action, a motion to suspend the printing of the 5th edition until consensus on the founder's writings procedures is developed, and the conference declined to consider that floor action.
Wow. So basically what happened when the committee met
Allegedly.
to approve the 5th edition, they basically approved the 5th edition with an amendment. Now, this is the kind of just in general what happened. And the amendment was to change the word Eskimo to some non-racial term. That got approved at the conference floor. And then somebody made a floor action to basically suspend the 5th edition of the book because they felt like changing the word Eskimo to a non-racial term actually changes the founder's writings, which in fact it does. And they wanted to stop that until we actually made a decision on whether we were going to change the founder's writings or not. That's basically what happened.
And they worked in there, they extended the pejorative language to Tradition 8 of the 12 by 12, a book that they weren't even discussing at all.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with the 5th edition of Alcoholics Anonymous, the book.
I'm telling you, this is just the start of stuff. I mean, they could easily now, a conference could easily, I think my microphone just went out. Can you hear me all right? Okay. So they could easily now change the word God. They could change the gender because they've set the precedence for it. Mm-hmm. And like it or not, they just changed the first 164 pages of the book Alcoholics Anonymous without the fellowship's approval or the fellowship's voice. Now I know the delegate is basically speaking for us, but that's interesting. I'm not sure I know what I think about that. I think it's dumb. I think they should have just held off on it. So I wonder what term they're going to use for Eskimo.
Well, the most widely accepted term for all indigenous people of the Arctic region is Inuit, I-N-U-I-T. The term Eskimo, you can bleep that out if you want, is widely considered derogatory and offensive in Canada and Greenland, and its usage is declining in Alaska, where it is increasingly viewed as a negative label. Some Alaska Natives still use it to describe themselves. Most indigenous peoples in the Arctic prefer to be called by their specific local names. Example, Inuit, Yupik, and something I definitely can't pronounce.
Well, all that might be right, but I don't know that the conference should have just made the decision to change that without it going through the fellowship. That's just weird to me. I mean,
Well, and there's a lot of discourse back and forth about the term. So I would think that this brings in unnecessary, undue fractures in the fellowship.
it's going to, for sure.
Make an asterisk.
This is probably one of the reasons why we know that some of the areas are actually considering not sending a delegate next year.
Yeah.
They're kind of just pulling out of the conference process, or they're talking about it, I should say.
Yeah.
That's confirmed that they're talking about it. And I know, on the surface, a lot of people, probably think, well, this is not that big of a deal, but it kind of is.
Well, I just think it's interesting how it would seem that a good middle ground is to make a footnote asterisk instead of removing it. How is that not a good resolution where, okay, we're replacing it, but we're not altering the founder's writings, at least until we have a consensus on what the procedures for the founder's writings are.
Correct.
But they declined to even consider the floor action to suspend the 5th edition, which is obviously very contentious given the information that we have.
Yeah. You know what, though? They could have easily slowed this down. Nobody's out there dying because there's not a 5th edition of the book. Nobody is out there like not getting sober because the word Eskimo is hidden into a book. They claim nobody reads the book anyway. Right? They claim the book's outdated.
It's outdated. Yeah.
So, oh my goodness.
I do find that to be troubling.
It is troubling. Well, I'm curious though. So since we're on the 5th edition, so now they're going to change the word Eskimo. We don't know what they're going to change it to. I'm assuming they'd let the committee decide that. But they've also have revised the preface. They've revised the introduction to the stories. When you're in the back of the stories, like there's 3 sections and they have these little like kind of description of those stories. So they're rewriting those. They're also rewriting the Appendix 3, the medical view on AA, the Lasker Award, the religious view on AA, and how to get in touch with AA, which I personally think that those things needed to be revised, but I am curious to see how it's going to be worded.
Well, and that was probably part of people, saying like, hey, we have trusted servants, agree with that, but if we don't get to look at a confidential draft, then what the heck are y'all doing?
Yeah.
And there's no way you're going to make every single Alcoholics Anonymous member happy and content with any of these revisions or changes. Of course, there are going to be people who want them to never change, people that want them to be updated, but it just seems that one side always wins out. Like there's no compromise. There's no spiritual informed group conscience because we're not an upside down triangle, quite frankly.
Well, that kind of proves it. And you'll see something else that it proves it also here in a few minutes. But
something that I think was probably pretty important is called the Everything AA app. Have you ever heard of it?
I have. I've actually.
Have you?
Huh?
Go ahead.
I downloaded it. I don't know, a year or 2 ago. Somebody mentioned it to me, and I kept hearing people talking about it. So I'm like, well, I need to check it out before I make comments on it. So I downloaded it, and I saw what it was, and I disabled it. I don't use it. I don't see the utility in it. It's got, you can put your sobriety date in it and it'll give you how many days you've been sober. You can read the big book. You can read Living Sober. You can access the 12 by 12. You can listen to Joe and Charlie Big Book seminars and things like that. I guess it's a cool app, but it's not anything that I would use. Have you ever had it?
No.
Okay. Well, what's going on with it?
I have
It's
heard
called Everything.
of it.
Huh?
Yep, it's called Everything AA.
Yep.
Well, check this out. AAWS Inc. has assumed stewardship of the Everything AA app.
You've got to be kidding me.
Have you heard anything about them
Well,
wanting to assume stewardship of the Everything AA app?
it was not on any of the pre-conference material that came out.
This ensures that this, quote, meeting in the pocket, end quote, remains a safe and spiritually grounded resource for any alcoholic reaching out for help. Following the July meeting and the September-October budgeting cycle, the board met to formally authorize the acquisition. This purchase gives AAWS a significant advantage in the digital space, allowing us to better reach the alcoholic who still suffers through modern technology. The acquisition is projected to be revenue neutral within 8 months, sustained entirely by subscriptions. Although specific financials remain confidential, there was no drawdown from the reserve fund to complete this purchase. The board is currently developing strategies for how to best communicate and engage with the existing subscriber base. The app currently serves 1 million subscribers. Content that is not conference approved, such as speaker tapes, will be removed to align with our traditions.
My goodness. I mean, this is just beyond comprehension. That on a number of fronts. Number one, our reserve fund is not doing well, so we're spending money for an app. Number two,
How much money?
we don't know because that's confidential. None of this was run through the fellowship. None of this was run through the conference. This points to what I've been saying for years is there technically and legally, there is no upside down triangle on AA. The board can do what it wants to do legally. And now they have spent money that we don't have on an app that listen to the verbiage that you read. Gives AAWS a significant advantage in the digital space. Since when does Alcoholics Anonymous need a digital advantage or an advantage in the digital space? We help alcoholics face to face. What, are you serious? And how is Everything AA going to reach an alcoholic, help you better reach an alcoholic? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. This is just, and the app is stupid. The other thing I will say about that is the meeting guide app, which is actually a really good app. Why didn't we almost everything on the Everything app is on the meeting guide app. So on the meeting guide app, why don't we just add a link to read the big book? Add a link to the audio big book. Add a link to the 12 by 12.
Well, does it have a day counter?
Well, it could, but what the hell would you want a day counter for? Well, I'm not counting
What's
days.
interesting is I just kind of briefly searched the interwebs, and it would seem to me, this is anecdotal at best, but it seems to me that a lot of people are saying the things that they like about the Everything AA app are the Joe and Charlie tapes. I'd love to see them add more leads. I'd love to see them add more speakers. The only thing this app is missing is the availability to download the literature. Okay.
That's all the more reason to have it be its own standalone app and not our app.
Yep.
That's great that people love that. So go to Everything app and get it. Everything, get it.
People like being able to flick through the literature.
So all the things that people like are going to go away when AA takes it over because we don't endorse Joe and Charlie tapes.
Yep.
Or whatever, all that other outside stuff. Just bizarre. How are they going to be revenue neutral in 8 months? I'd be curious to know. Are they going to start charging for it?
Well, currently you can make a donation monthly, yearly, But I don't know. It's free right now. And so, yes, I can see in their information, they say, oh, it has over 1 million users, subscribers, but it's free.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, weird. Just weird.
I just think that is very...
What's even more interesting about it is no one knew about it. I mean, we've not heard anything about this until now.
Yep. Well, and here's the next thing, too, is there are several other AA-adjacent, AA-related apps that are out there. So are they going to try to acquire Sobercast and take all of the talks off of there? Are they going to try to, acquire the Recovered podcast?
Maybe.
Daily Ponderables?
Right, yeah.
My Spiritual Toolkit?
My Spiritual Toolkit. Alcoholics Alive.
Sober Q? Mostly Australians? Sober Sidekick?
There you go. Sober Sidekick. I like that one. Yeah, this one's just, it's bizarre to me. Yeah.
And so I'm glad that they're developing strategies for how to best communicate and engage with the existing subscriber base. However, what's it going to be like when you communicate with the existing subscriber base and they say, I can't afford to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. I was able to afford it last year and I can't this year. I want to listen to Joe and Charlie. I want all of this non-AA. The reason I had it was everything you're taking away. So I'll delete it.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything AA app. Here we go. I love how they say we've assumed stewardship of it.
Yeah, why not say we've assumed ownership?
We purchased it. We bought it. Oh my goodness. So
how does it give us a significant advantage in the digital space? And also, you're not willing to acquire videos that are already made and produced, whether or not you like them or you want to change them. It costs too much to edit a video.
Yeah.
But it doesn't cost too much to buy an app.
Good point.
And change and remove things.
Very good point.
Now, I do understand that when you're weighing the pros and cons, I just can't imagine that a 10-minute video is that much more difficult to edit than an entire app.
Weird.
So very interesting. We did also the meeting guide app. We acquired that many years ago.
We did.
I guess we assumed stewardship of that.
Assumed stewardship, yeah. That's the new term for spending money to buy something, I guess. We assume stewardship. I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is not like a dig at the Everything AA app. It's just they're going to change it into something that the 1 million subscriber base probably doesn't want.
That's exactly right.
So create your own app, although you couldn't force that through, or you really don't have enough money to create your own app. This is going to end up being a nightmare.
It's so easy though to create an app nowadays. I wonder what they're paying old Ben S for it. That'd be good to know. I mean, I guess we'll find out eventually. I mean, they can't hide it. I wouldn't think. It'll be in the financial report somewhere. And
how is it possible that there was no drawdown from the reserve fund to complete this purchase?
Well, so that would imply to me that they may have not paid much for it.
Well, that's even worse.
So that maybe they had enough cash on hand to do it.
Or he didn't charge them enough because he's an AA member and he felt spiritually inclined, or he didn't believe that he could sell it for what he believed it was worth.
Possibly. I wish
But
I
an
knew it was
app
for sale.
that has 1 million subscribers to me would come with a pretty hefty price tag.
You would think. And they say that they're going to be revenue neutral in 8 months. So let me do some math for you real quick.
We're bankrolling the Grapevine, although they're not in as much of a deficit as they have been. Okay. Things are looking up great. We're producing new materials. We're going to produce videos. We're going to update pamphlets. We're writing a 5th edition that has a lot of changes to it. And we're acquiring an app all while in the midst of having to take drawdowns for renovations for the office.
It's crazy. My 3 times
What are your calculations?
times 0.2. I bet they paid $480,000 for it. That's my guess. Let's just see what we find out. Wonder where they got that money from. Now I'm making that. I mean, that's just my number. That's my guess. It was somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000 for the app. That's what they paid.
I bet that
And
they paid 100 or less.
Based on their
He may have
8-month
sold it to him
payback.
for $1.
He could have. I doubt it though. Not man. You got 1 million users on an app.
How does
That's big.
how does that even come to the forefront of something that is being discussed?
This is a good question. My guess is that it's almost like he would have to know somebody on the board or one of the trustees or one of the staff, or somebody on staff just got tired of everybody going to that app and not going to them, and they decide, I don't know. It's interesting.
This is the manuscript 2.0.
2.0. So let's stay close to this one, see if we can't get more detail on it. But just so you'll know that this did happen. We're not making this up. So Shank, while you're cooling down on that one, just a couple of other quick things. That did get approved as like an advisory action. The pilot 2026 membership survey with a budgeted cost not to exceed $10,000 was approved. So they're going to explore.
Did you see that following the 78th General Service Conference that the equitable distribution workload process be discontinued?
Discontinued. That's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's interesting. They did change the name of the Understanding Anonymity pamphlet. The new title is going to be Anonymity, Our Spiritual Foundation.
Okay.
All right. That's really going to help some stuff, people. That's going to open the doors for lots of people to get sober. What else you got? Oh, one thing on the PLBB.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was discussion on the process to making a change to that,
mm-hmm.
and all that. So it did get the committee consideration was it should go through the same process as any other conference approved literature. So they're not having a separate process for that.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of hidden in the committee consideration report, which is about 20 pages long. Hey, listen, we appreciate you all listening. This is a special edition, so we're going to actually drop episode 1 of season 15 next week. So be on.
Unless we get more information from the conference.
Correct. That's a good point, Shank. We may just keep on going with them with special editions here. And if we get more info, if you got details on the Everything app or other things that went on at conference, please send us the deets on all that. We're ready.
If you're allowed to discuss them. We're not,
Oh,
because we
that's
weren't in
right.
the room, but we do anyway.
Oh, that's right. We had a trustee tell us that we couldn't discuss it. We weren't in the room. I'm going to scrap that. That's out of here for sure. Hey, in the meantime, take the steps and be free.
Freedom.
Thanks for listening. If you have a comment, suggestion, or just need help, you can email Shank and Wayne at freedom@alcoholicsalive.com. Remember, we're recovered members of Alcoholics Anonymous, but we do not speak for Alcoholics Anonymous, nor do we get paid. Join us next week for another great episode.